I love to read manga. It's something I've loved doing since I was 14 years old, picking up Naruto Volume 48. And let me just say, the creators in Japan are just awesome. But there's one series in particular that I didn't read the manga version at first, but watched the anime of, and that is Blue Exorcist. Now, some of you probably thinking, hey yo, Finn was one of the OGs. Yeah, no. Your boy at the time was too focused on Lego ninjas that could make tornadoes of creation and fight with, well, golden weapons. Actually, that show was pretty good. You should go watch the first few seasons. Also, Ruby came out at that time, even though I think the show should have ended with 3 seasons. But with that little nitpick to the side, I did not know Blue Exorcist had came out during that time. Again, I was more focused on watching Ninjago, SpongeBob, Ben 10 Omniverse, Steven Universe. Hey, you notice there's a lot of verses out there? Okay, so bear with me here. This anime discussion series might take up maybe 2 or 3 videos worth of content because I have just finished the Illuminati saga and I'm just about to enter the Beyond the Snow saga from volume 16 to whenever that ends. So yeah, this is probably going to be like a 2 to 3 part video series. Now, what exactly is Blue Exorcist about? Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's about 2 twin brothers, Rin Okumura and Yuki Okumura, sons of Yuri Egan and Shiro Fujimoto. And also that they're sons of Satan. Yeah, we'll get into that in probably like later part 2 or part 3. Now, the best way I can describe Yukio and Rin as both characters and brothers in the series is that the author made their relationship and their interactions with other characters and their part in the story as a whole very real. I feel like I'm watching 2 brothers who do care for each other, but also feel kind of distant at the same time because of the circumstances that they're in, and yet they're trying to find equal ground. And yeah, that's pretty good. Now, on to my favorite character in Blue Exorcist slash their adopted father slash who I think their real father is, Shiro Fujimoto. This man took these 2 boys in as his own when they were babies, and he loved them just as much as if they were his own blood. And I can't help but like his character because of that. He's cool, he's a badass, he just wants to be there for his kids. Now, one of the great things that I think sticks out the most about his character is that he don't consider his own safety when he be doing his job as an exorcist. And I'll explain what exorcist is in a minute. He was literally shooting a demon bird with a shotgun while riding it, and he did not realize he landed into the forest that was filled with snow, and it was basically a Buddhist camp. Yeah, he don't be thinking when he be doing this stuff now. And also the fact that he's a total pervert, so I'll just play the audio for you.
And that trace of a nosebleed?
Yeah, well, when I fell, I bumped smack into this super hot chick, and
Let's go after her! Show me where she is, Rin! Crap!
Now, their mom, Yuri Egan, with very little spoilers involved, I will say this. Her decision leads to Rin and Yukio's birth. And all I can say is until I get to the part of where I need to be in this series to talk about it more, I will say this is based off my knowledge of what I watched in the anime. She is a very kind-hearted person, but she's one of those people in the world that has good intentions, but she doesn't see the evil in some people, and it's kind of sad because people like her who just see the good in everybody, they're very rare and few these days. But it's very unfortunate. Hey, before I explain what The Exorcist is, this is me post-editing. I forgot to mention that the series was created by Kaizei Kaito. If I'm just saying this just in case if I didn't say it. But yeah, Kaizei Kaito is both the author slash artist for the series. I'll dive more into her art in probably part 2 of this video series. Anyway, to explain what an exorcist is, You're about to see a very long list with a very long explanation. So, get your popcorn ready, whatever snacks or drinks you have other than that, and let's get this started. Now, to answer the big question that has been lingering, what exactly is an exorcist? Well, just like in any supernatural series like Jujutsu Kaisen, The Gray Man, Togen Anki, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and also in any other series out there that has supernatural elements, an exorcist is a warrior that is trained to fight demons. But the thing about the demons in Blue Exorcist is that you just can't take them down with any random Bible verse like Matthew chapter 10 verse 3. You just can't straight out set it to any demon, because it's established very early on in the series that you need to know what type of demon it is, what class is it or rank, and if this verse is either going to paralyze it, fully exorcise it, or just slow it down enough until you can figure out what the actual verse is. In my anime discussion section of this video, I will explain, how that was brought up. But yeah, there are actually different levels of exorcists right here, as you can see on the screen. You have page, esquire, knight, dragoon, tamer, aria, doctor, lower second class, lower first class, middle second class, middle first class, upper second class, upper first class, chancellor, archknight, and paladin. Now, I'm going to explain to you some of the ranks that are here on the page. So page is someone that just entered the exorcist cram school. Someone like Rin, Yukio, or Suguro, they can't do anything yet. Well, at the beginning of the story anyway. An esquire is somebody that is considered a candidate for the rank that they want to be. A knight, from what I've seen of the manga, a knight is somebody that just goes out and fights on the front line. A dragoon, if I remember correctly, is somebody who fights on the front line, but they can also have the option of fighting as a long-range fighter. A tamer is somebody that actually tames demons, aka Lewin Light. We will talk about more about him probably in part 3. Aria is somebody that can use different medicines and spells, just like a doctor, to figure out what type of chant is used to take down the demon that they're fighting. A doctor, just as I say with the aria, can use medicines to help people or help aid their demons. It's a whole thing, really, because when I read the series, my full understanding of like each rank is that they sort of kind of blend into each other from my understanding of it. But doctor is the one Yukio wants to be, because he actually wants to heal people from demon viruses, which I will get into in part 2. And etc. etc. That's basically the basic ranks. And for anyone who's wondering what a paladin is, because I know somebody's going to ask me down in the comments section. Okay, here we go. So a paladin in Blue Exorcist, as you saw on the Exorcist chart, is the strongest exorcist that is within the order. Now, just like any power series, you always have that number 1. But in Blue Exorcist case, you have Arthur right here. Arthur A. Angel. Yes, I am not kidding you. His full name is Arthur A. Angel, and he's Gojo, except he's not as charismatic, but not in like a bad way. He does get serious. He does care about his job as a paladin, but my God, dude, this dude got a big ego, and his sword talks. Yes, I can't remember the name of his sword, but I know it does talk, and it's always praising him, saying that he is the best of the best. How much of a narcissist do you have to be the best of the best? And a good example of how much of a narcissist he is, in this image right here, I remember watching this episode. Even Shura does not like being around him, because he is... Yeah, he's not too pleasant to be around, but he is the strongest, though. This man is very powerful. And to avoid copyrights, you see this big ass sword he has right here that I told you that can talk? Yeah, this sword can also do this. Yes, that sword, again, is very powerful. He's very powerful. He can pull some shit off like this. Yeah.
Rin, no! Are you okay?
And now that we have entered the last section of this video, it is time to talk about the greatest debate that has always been talked about amongst the Blue Exorcist community and every other anime community out there. the manga versus the anime. And boy, oh boy, does the anime not do the manga justice. So, for further context, the studio that did anime Blue Exorcist, which is A1 Pictures, they reached a certain point of the adaptation where they couldn't go beyond it. And from my research of it on the Blue Exorcist Wikipedia and other Wikipedia, like the main Wikipedia, they really botched the adaptation with this one image right here. And well, this image right here, if I'm not mistaken, is from episode 7 of the anime adaptation. I could be wrong, could be right, but I think it is episode 7 because this fight is from volume 4 of the series where Rin goes up against a Maimon because a Maimon had drugged / poisoned Shiemi into being his slave so that he could try and eat her. And that really pissed Rin off and he starts fighting him. And the fight itself is honestly very, very good animation wise. Like, they stick to the manga very well. But then the image I can't show you because I can't find it. If anyone watched the original Blue Exorcist when it came out, the Koma sword breaks. That does not happen in the original source material of the manga. I read volume 4. Volume 4 is actually the first volume of the series I've ever read. And during this fight, the sword breaks, but in the manga, it does not. In the manga, Rin is just tossing around a Maimon with the sword. He's knocking him out of the way. But eventually, Mephisto steps in, gets a Maimon, and then Arthur steps in and takes down Rin, and they're able to resheath the sword back into its, sheath. The way the anime adaptation handles it is that the sword breaks, and then later on in the episode or the next episode, they explain that, the Koma sword, they give the origins of the Koma sword, but at the same time, it's botched because they have to go to a blacksmith. And I'm like, there is no way that sword could have been broken. It's literally covered in Rin's flames that should protect it. And it probably does actually break in the manga, but you wouldn't think something like that covered in hellish flames would break so easily. That doesn't make any sense. And it kind of really pissed me off as a manga reader. And yes, I did say before that A1 Pictures only adapted so much up to that point. But I kind of feel like they should have stopped right there and put the series on hiatus. But from what I've seen, the series original anime run got ordered for 24 episodes. So I understand from their point of view, they got to do what they can do to get things done. But it's kind of just sad because the Blue Exorcist manga, it's just so good in both art and story, and it's a shame that this anime series as a whole has gotten not only a studio shift but also a update. And what do I mean by update? You see this image right here of Rin? He looks very close to his manga counterpart, doesn't he? Nice and balanced. Nothing really to complain about. But here you have Arthur A. Angel in the new art style that was done by Studio Volin for the current seasons that just came out last year and I think earlier this year. I am very well aware that they wanted to go more with the current manga art style, but I feel like they shouldn't have done that because the current manga art style is not bad. It's actually pretty solid in my opinion. I just kind of feel like they transitioned to that a little too fast for an adaptation. I kind of feel like they should have just tried to retain some of the old art style so that they could gradually go to the new one so that people would be like, hey, the art style changed, but it was a gradual shift. Now, I have to admit that A1 Pictures did kind of redeem itself with the Kyoto Saga. From what I've seen from everyone who did watch it in 2017 on Reddit posts and YouTube video reviews, A1 Pictures did do a pretty good job adapting this arc, but a lot of people will admit that they should have just rebooted the anime like how Madhouse did Hunter x Hunter, and just instead of picking up where the original adaptation left off, they just started all over again. Which, yeah, there's a specific scene in the Kyoto Saga that should have happened in the original, but it didn't. Alright, so, my opinion on the arc I just finished about maybe a month or two ago. The Illuminati Saga. Not gonna lie, lore-wise and story-wise, I'm about 50-50 with it. I did enjoy the moments with Izumo's connection with the Inari Fox, how her mom got sort of like mutated slash corrupted slash sick from the Nine-Tailed Fox itself. Michael Genuine is a literal piece of shit, and he's in the Illuminati, and not even the Illuminati want to be associated with his ass, especially Lucifer. Just go watch the arc. I'm not going to tell you what happens to Genuine. There are zombies, and not going to lie, when I saw the zombies in Blue Exorcist, I got this eerie feeling of this feels like this should be a part of the series, and like how they explain the difference between a zombie and a ghoul is pretty awesome too. Like Kaise Kaito is very good at detail, but overall this arc, when it comes to lore, Kaise Kaito is the queen of telling lore in the series, because my god, the whole thing with Shima, spoiler alert, being a spy for both the Order and the Illuminati kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm kind of like, I thought he was actually a villain. But when I actually saw the end of like his whole dilemma of him being a spy for both sides at the very end of volume 15, not gonna spoil that part, but yeah, I'm interested to see what he does, because I'm like, what is up with him? Now, as I said before about the Blue Knight saga and the Beyond the Snow saga, I have not read either arc yet, but when I do, I'll be sure to gather all my notes and make sure to, give you guys a brief summary of each arc. On Beyond the Snow Saga, I'm kind of excited for it because it has my girl Shura in it. I'm a Shura stan, by the way. Anyway, and the Blue Knight Saga, from what I've been told, is literally the best arc of Blue Exorcist so far, with the backstory of the Akumura family. And to tell you guys the truth, I cannot wait to read it, probably watch it, and let me just say it now. Yes, I've listened to Sense of Pain by Amazing She. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, I hope I did, but Sense of Pain is amazing and literally the best opening of the series. You guys have a good night, good day, whatever time of day it is watching this video, and I'm out.